5, we're going to learn a little bit about the life cycle of a butterfly. Now, a butterfly is an insect, so it does have the basic life cycle of any insect that goes through the process called metamorphosis, where you have the egg, the larva, the pupa, and the adult. With a butterfly, the larva stage is called a caterpillar, and the pupa stage is called a chrysalis. Okay, if it's a moth, it's the same, except instead of having a chrysalis for the pupa stage, they have what's called a cocoon. Here's just a little bit more detail. Eggs and larvae. Female butterflies mate with males and then lay eggs. A female butterfly lays between 50 and 1,000 eggs. Each is about the size of a pinhead. Most eggs hatch in 3 to 10 days, and that's going to depend on the type of butterfly, and then also sometimes it can depend on the conditions. Caterpillars hatch from the eggs. As they grow, caterpillars molt or shed their exoskeleton 4 or 5 times. Pupae and adults. When a caterpillar is about 15 to 30 days old, it stops eating. It attaches itself to a plant. Then it molts one last time and changes into a pupa. A butterfly pupa is also called a chrysalis. A hard outer shell surrounds the chrysalis. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar slowly changes into a butterfly. After 4 to 14 days, an adult pushes its way out. It rests and opens its wings. As adults, most butterflies live for only a few days or weeks, and once again, that depends on the type of butterfly it is. After a caterpillar becomes a chrysalis, it slowly changes into an adult butterfly. And here we can see a chrysalis. Now, we're going to look at another book that gives the same basic thing but adds a few more details. So here it has butterfly life cycles. Female butterflies may lay many eggs on or near plants. They can lay eggs one at a time, in small clusters, or even hundreds at a time. The larval or caterpillar stage of a butterfly's life begins when the egg hatches. The pupil stage happens when the caterpillar is in a chrysalis. During this stage, a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. When the butterfly comes out of the chrysalis, it is in its adult form. And here it's showing the different steps. So here's the egg. It says the butterfly begins life as a small egg. The egg may be white, green, or yellow. Eggs are different shapes, such as oval, pod-shaped, or round. There is a yolk in each egg that will turn into a caterpillar. And here's a close-up of some butterfly eggs. And again, it's going to depend on the type of butterfly, exactly the size and shape. Larva. The larval stage lasts from 2 weeks to 1 month. The caterpillar eats leaves and grows quickly. When the caterpillar stops growing, it stops eating. It then attaches itself to an object that will provide cover. This may be a leaf or a twig. The caterpillar then enters the pupil stage. So here's an example of a caterpillar, and they can really get much, much larger in the time depending on the type, like they can go from so small you can hardly see them to very large, and you're going to see, we talked about the shedding the skin, you're going to see that molting process. Now here's the pupa. The pupal stage can last from a few days to many months. The pupa does not eat. It did all that eating in the caterpillar stage, and now it's stored up the energy it needs, so it's able to make changes in the pupal stage. It hangs inside the chrysalis, and it didn't tell you here, but what actually happens is when they attach themselves like the end of their body attaches and their head is hanging down. If you ever get a chance to observe it, you'll see a caterpillar, it almost like curls up its head and is hanging, facing head down, but its body is kind of curled up. And the chrysalis often becomes clear the day before the butterfly comes out, so you can see how it's starting to change, and it starts looking darker, and then you actually can see the butterfly, and depending on the type of butterfly, like you can start seeing the colors of the wings through it. Then adult. After coming out of its chrysalis, the butterfly has wrinkled wings. It uses fluid from inside its body to help plump up the wings. Butterflies then begin to search for mates. After they mate, the female lays eggs. The stages begin again. Some butterflies live for a few days. Others can live as long as 12 months. And once again, that depends on the type of butterfly that you're talking about. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about a butterfly's life cycle.